You're listening to the Multiverse Fancast, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
All right then, on with the show.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Multiverse Fancast. Don't forget, if you guys are listening to us on the go, you can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, basically anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also find more of our content on our website, themisfitfaction.com. There you find links to not only this show, but some of our other shows like Cinematic Adventures and MF Uncensored. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Paul. With me in the studio today, and from your mom's notebook, Ronnie. Ronnie, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Did you just say that I was from your mom's notebook?
Yes. Not mine.
No,
yours.
Oh, like theirs.
No, just
Like
just that one person that's listening.
Oh,
They
okay.
know who they are.
The little black book?
Yeah, they know who they are. It's fine.
Yeah.
But what's up, man?
Oh, not much. Living life.
Living life?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. How about you?
I'm doing all right. So we want to first thank everybody for their patience on this one. Combination of scheduling challenges and work-related issues, behind-the-scenes stuff, and then finally just wanting to give people a chance to see the movie.
Yeah.
Not me, because I definitely saw it opening weekend. I was first in line. Shut up, Ronnie. But anyway.
I won't say anything.
But yes, thank you guys for your patience. We do really appreciate it. We are here, though, to finally talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume...
Trace.
That's French for 4.
Correctamundo.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, we're going to do what we usually do when a movie's just come out. We'll do our initial thoughts on it and just kind of our non-spoiler, goods, bads, whatevers we want to do. I just started adding S to everything in a panic. I work today, Ronnie worked today. We're just kind of doing our best. This is...
Yeah, to stay alive.
You can't just put S's anywhere, I guess. Weird. But we do have a little bit of news. Nothing too crazy, but just so you guys kind of have an idea of what our schedule's looking like. So we're going to be taking Memorial Day weekend off, just so you guys are aware. So we'll have this episode, we'll have another episode, and then nothing for Memorial Day.
Don't worry, we still love you guys.
Yeah. When we come back, June's going to be a busy month. We have the new Spider-Verse movie coming out at the very beginning of June, and then we have the long-awaited and... oh boy, The Flash.
Oh yeah.
So we'll have something in between that, maybe some sort of look at the Flash or the Flashpoint Paradox. We haven't really ironed that out yet. But yeah, some news we had this week at time of recording: the end of Titans. Season 4 just concluded, series finale of Titans. Any thoughts, Ronnie? Oh wait.
Well, I've only seen the first 2 seasons.
Stupid. So stupid.
I do want to get into it, or should I say back into it?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So, because, like from you and other people I've heard, it's season 3 is pretty good. And then this season's
been pretty solid.
Yeah. So,
a couple of gripes, but the new Robin suit.
Yeah.
For 3 episodes, he has it. Spoiler. But like for 3 episodes, he's the new Robin. And the suit is like the nicest Robin suit, one of the nicest superhero suits they've ever done. Mm-hmm. 3 episodes.
I'm sure we'll probably see it again.
Nope.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. But and in lieu of other shows being canceled, their biggest rumor is that Superman and Lois is going to be probably getting canceled. The CW's axing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But they kept Walker.
Well, because that's a hit show.
They canceled the Winchesters, but kept Walker.
Well, the Winchesters fell super flat. I think
I think Mel and I watched the first like 4 or 5 episodes, and we were just kind of, and then I got spoiled on how it ends, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Jacqueline and I rewatched maybe like the first 2, and we were like, I could do without. It's not the same.
No. And then the Flash is ending too, so we're gonna probably take a look back at that. We just had the Flash Arrow episode, which Ronnie definitely didn't watch.
I definitely did watch it. What are you talking about?
Did you really?
No.
I've asked you. Oh my God, I hate you so much. But yeah, I watched it, and maybe eventually we'll kind of talk about the end of the Arrowverse, as it were, because it's funny because Stargirl cameoed on Titans this season. Briefly, The Flash had a quick look, and even Shazam, like they did an episode where Beast Boy travels into what's called the Red, which is the opposite of the Green. Those are actual things in the comics.
Yeah,
like the Red is connected to all living creatures, and the Green is connected to all plant life and nature. So Beast Boy is an emissary for the Red, and you saw like Swamp Thing, you saw Shazam, like it was really cool. Yeah, it was a good episode, but. Eventually, we'll talk about some of these shows. Like, obviously, the only real quote-unquote Arrowverse show that has a chance of staying is Superman and Lois, but, it's like 50-50 at this point what they're going to do. It sucks, because, like, Superman and Lois, I've been pestering Ronnie about, like, it is fantastic this season. Like this season really, what they're doing with it is just really good. And the fact Tyler Hoechlin kills it. Like he is a great Clark Kent, great Superman. They finally figured out how to balance the two and make them different characters almost. So I'm going to be really sad. But also it's between that. Apparently they're only going to keep one DC show, and it's either going to be Superman and Lois or Gotham Knights.
They're probably going to get rid of Superman and Lois just so they can do more with Gotham Knights. I feel like.
God, it's getting better, and I've done a bunch of reviews on it. I am 2 episodes behind, but there's a little bit of I think there's a little hiatus. Not a new episode till after Memorial Day.
Because the thing too is there's probably a lot more money goes into Superman and Lois than Gotham.
I don't know, because at this point they have the effects like saved.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to create new effects for the most part. But Gotham Knights, oh my god, it's hard to watch. But yeah, that's gonna be it for our catch up, our news. But so let's jump into this. This is the end of an era.
Yeah.
Sad. It is sad.
Very sad.
But so let's talk. We're going to do non-spoiler thoughts first, because as always, there are some people that maybe haven't seen the movie or just kind of trying to hear our initial ideas before they go see it. So Ronnie and I saw it separately due to some scheduling issues, mostly on my end. I'll say it. Ronnie actually saw this movie before me, which is wild.
Yeah, that never happens.
It never happens with your pregnant wife. I don't know how this one fell apart.
I would.
What did I have to do? Did I get stuck at work or something? I don't remember.
That's a great question.
I don't remember why I had to.
I don't even remember. Yes.
Oh, I was waiting to hear from Melanie.
That and you. Yeah, something with work too.
I had to go to work, and because I was coming back from that long day,
Yeah.
and I wasn't sure what time I'd be back, and then, yep, I remember. It's all coming back to me now. I'm starting to black out my work. But anyway, so Ronnie got to see this before this. He was great about not telling me any spoilers. I also specifically said, please don't tell me your thoughts. I want to go in completely fresh, and I sometimes value Ronnie's opinion. Not usually.
Yeah, no one does.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wait, why are we whispering?
Because it's funny.
Okay.
I hope people aren't driving trying to hear us. Like, turn up the volume. Oh, God.
And then we start screaming.
That's why we edit. Edit. So I'm going to let you go first, because I'm curious about your thoughts. Because you've had more time to marinate on this movie.
Yeah. So I did. So when I saw Paul during the week, I did say to him, I'll give you one word as far as my thoughts. And that one word was surprising.
Surprising.
Yes. This movie is quite surprising in the fact of the characters, because there are suspicions of who's going to die, who's not going to die, and to me that was kind of surprising to see certain outcomes from it. Damn, this is hard to not spoil stuff right now when it comes to that. But so to me, like, that was kind of surprising, but overall very solid. This might be my favorite Guardians movie.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, it's tough between this one or the first one, obviously. But I think this might be the best Guardians movie we've had, which is saying something, because you and I both loved really 1 and 2, but especially number 1. So to me, this was a nice ending.
Yeah. So for me, now this is one of the, I'm going to agree with Ronnie. This was a great movie. It really, really was. The critics are saying the same thing. It's getting a lot of praise, especially for certain performances, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section. But what's really cool about the Guardians trilogy now, and obviously we had the holiday special and the I Am Groot thing, and we really liked the holiday special. We did an episode on it.
Yeah.
And and that's the big question people are asking: do you need to see the holiday special to enjoy this movie? It fills in like 1 or 2 gaps, just where they are at the beginning of this, but really, and also the big reveal of Mantis and Peter Quill, which was in the holiday special. That's not a spoiler for this movie, but for me, this is one. There are only 2 really good trilogies in the MCU: Captain America and now Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
which is crazy to say.
Yeah,
you have your Thor, you have Iron Man. Iron Man, like, for the most part, we enjoy, but like we all say, Iron Man 2 and 3 are not nearly as strong as the first one. Then you look at Captain America, where the second one's the best, and then I like me personally, I like the third one better, even though I still say the second one is a better movie.
Yeah,
the third one's just better spectacle, and I love it.
Yeah,
and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But and then the first one is still really good. Just it's not the one anybody's going to put on if they have to put on a Captain America movie. Now for this one, if you put 3 Guardians movies in front of me and say pick one to watch, I might have some trouble.
Definitely will have trouble, because again, the second one, in my opinion, and I'm going to believe your opinion, is the weakest out of the three.
And that's not even saying it's a bad movie.
No,
it's still really good.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
So that would definitely, out of these three movies, that would not be the one I choose, per se. I mean, to me, the second one kind of has a little bit more fun to it.
The second one suffers because they split the Guardians up.
Yeah.
This movie thrives because even when it does at one point, like, throughout the course, that's not even a spoiler. Like, the Guardians do separate missions.
Yeah.
Like, in the big mission. And they still have, they're still going back and forth with each other. Because, when Rocket and Groot leave in the second movie, and then they get captured by the Ravengers, or the rest of the team leaves and they get, you know what I mean? Like, they don't talk to each other. There's no communication until they finally reunite at the end.
Yeah.
And I will say that the Scotch tape scene is still one of my favorite things in the MCU. Yeah, Scotch tape would work. Well, why would you ask if you didn't have any?
Yep.
I love that whole exchange is fantastic.
Yeah.
But for this movie, I think this movie really shines because the Guardians this is almost peak Guardians. It's every good, even in Thor: Love and Thunder, the Guardian stuff was some of the better stuff in it. You still see them all working together and they're all doing their thing and they're a real family. They bicker, they argue, whoever ends up doing this Fantastic Four movie really needs to look at the Guardians movies and take something from it.
Yeah, because the difference between Guardians and the Fantastic Four is really just there's more humor with Guardians. So it's literally you just take the same formula, but you just don't make it as quippy.
Yeah, because you look at the Fantastic Four, you got Reed Richards, who's supposed to be the straight man.
Yeah.
An occasional Reed Richards joke is totally fine, but don't make him like Drax.
No,
where Drax was very stoic in the first movie with the occasional zinger.
Yeah,
but it was always an unintentional one.
Yeah.
So they could do a lot learning from this movie to do Fantastic Four, but without making it just a carbon copy. Because I think Fantastic Four would be so bad if it was just Guardians of the Galaxy on Earth.
Yeah.
And one stretches. Oh God, that would be horrific.
Yes.
But so without going into too many spoilers, the general premise is the Guardians are trying to just make their way in the universe. They're stationed on nowhere as per the holiday special. And unfortunately, Rocket's past comes back to bite him a little bit.
Yeah.
And we will say, I'll say myself, I don't know about Ronnie, Rocket's story was probably one of the best stories in the MCU.
1,000%.
They do a great job showing Baby Rocket and kind of how he became, because we'd always gotten hints as to how Rocket became how he is. And to finally see it, and they, in all honesty, they don't hold back too much. This is some of the more intense MCU stuff. In fact, PETA came out and in praise of the movie for showing how terrible. I was watching the pitch meeting for it because they released that a day or two ago, and they specifically say that this villain is worse just because he hurts animals. Yeah, Thanos erased half the universe, but people hate the High Evolutionary more because he hurt animals. Yeah, and they do it in a much funnier manner, but as funny as hurting animals could be. Yeah. I didn't think about it.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you didn't mean it in a negative way.
But we'll run through the cast really quick without any of the spoiler people in it. And then after the spoiler warning, we'll kind of go character by character and plot by plot and see, who we liked, what we didn't like, and where each character kind of ends up at the end. You got Chris Pratt coming back as Peter Quill / Star-Lord, or Sad-Lord in the beginning of this movie. Zoe Saldana returns as not the Gamora that died in Infinity War, but the one that came back from the past in Endgame. Dave Bautista returns as Drax, who they finally toned down a little bit more, which was good. Karen Gillan as Nebula. We have, Pom Clementive as Mantis. Vin Diesel as Groot. Bradley Cooper as Rocket. Will Poulter as Adam Warlock, who was teased in the second movie at the end by Aisha. Sean Gunn comes back as Kraglin. I'm never going to be able to say this guy's name. Chukwudi Iwiji as the High Evolutionary, the new villain. Linda Cardellini plays Lila, an anthropomorphic otter. Nathan Fillion as Master Card. I was surprised he was in the movies for as long as he was. Not a spoiler, but Sylvester Stallone as Stakar Ogard. Let's see. We have Elizabeth Debicki coming back as Aisha. I'm glad they actually brought her back for this, too. Yeah. Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville fame played Lex Luthor as Martinex. Christopher Fairbank as the broker who comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't want to go too many. We'll save some of these because some of these are a little. Oh, and of course we have Maria Bakalova as Cosmo the space dog, who is a very good dog. All right? Very good dog.
Yes.
And that's pretty. I want to see Cosmo and Lucky the pizza dog in a scene together. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
I would be okay with that. All right, so do you want to do any other non-spoiler thoughts before we jump into the spoiler discussion? Anything else that you can say? Go see this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, go see this movie.
Go see it again. This, in my opinion, is probably the best Guardians movie.
I think this one's the best written.
Yeah,
Best written.
And the whole movie just pulls your heartstrings.
And also, if you are a Marvel fan and you especially like a good hallway fight scene, yep.
Yes.
Think Daredevil with superpowers, and anybody who's seen the movie knows exactly what we are talking
100%.
about. But with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going into our nice spoiler-filled discussion of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But first, a quick break. Hey guys, it's Paul, and the Misfit faction is looking for your help. We are trying to grow not only our network, but also grow our brands, and the best way to do that is if you guys are looking to start your very own podcast. Maybe you guys have been listening to us for a while. Maybe it's something you guys have always wanted to do, but you're not sure how to get started. If you go to podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys will get a month of free podcasting set as a gift from us. So make sure if you guys are looking to start your own show, you reach out to us and go to podbean.com/misfitfaction. Also, maybe you guys have your own online business or service that you're always looking to grow, and advertising is a very big part of that. If you guys go to sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction, you guys can get $100 worth of free advertising, again, as a thank you from us to you guys. That's sponsorship.podbean.com/misfitfaction. All right, we are back, and this is your official spoiler warning for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Do not continue to listen if you have not seen the movie, but if you have seen the movie or you don't care about being spoiled, this is your chance. Ready?
To keep listening?
Yeah, I panicked. I need to start making scripts. Jesus Christ.
Come on, man.
I know. All right. So let's start with obviously the main focus of this movie. He steals the show. He's the best written. He has the best scenes. He has the best dialogue, the best everything. Adam Warlock. Ronnie rolled his eyes so hard. I'm surprised you didn't faint when you did that. No, we'll talk about Adam Warlock. We will, but at some point.
God, because we need to.
The kid from We're the Millers. You guys get paid? Yeah. Let's start with Rocket, though, because this is a Rocket movie.
Yeah.
The first movie is a Peter Quill movie. The second movie is more of it's still a Peter Quill movie, but Nebula and Gamora have their side story that's just as impactful. So now we get to the Rocket movie, basically. Yeah. I thought it was a bold choice for them to do flashbacks while he was hurt and unconscious. Mm-hmm. I think it was a good choice.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it was It was tough.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times where Melanie couldn't watch.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. She's big. She likes her animals.
Yeah.
And we're all animal people, so to see some of that stuff, we're it's funny. We've watched Rocket get punched in the face, and we're like, ha,
he got punched.
Rocket Raccoon. I like how we finally embraced that one too.
Yeah.
It's Rocket Raccoon, which he was in the comics. But so we get to see his flashback, his story, where basically he's an experiment of the High Evolutionary. Do you think the High Evolutionary died?
I don't.
You don't think you think he's still alive?
I think he's still alive because I feel like he's one of those characters that you need to keep alive because of what he could do. I think it would be a mistake to kill him off because of that. Because again, he's one of those silent villains. You don't really know that this is all happening because of him and everything. He's almost like the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain.
A little bit, yeah, I can see that. So. But for Rocket showing, I thought he was going to die at one point. I really thought that, even after being revived, I was really afraid he was going to sacrifice himself for everyone.
Yeah.
Especially when he's walking in that room alone with all the animals.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
He's going to get shot.
I'm surprised he did that much damage to that guy's face.
Yeah.
He literally, pulled all the skin.
All the skin? For the most part, yeah. I would say 75% of the skin was ripped off.
Now, I've never been mauled by a raccoon, but I just didn't think it would,
turn out like that?
like, yeah, it's just.
I mean, yeah, but
yeah. But anyway, any other thoughts on Rocket? Because unfortunately, he's not really in the movie that much.
yeah, no, because he's incapacitated for a good amount. Like it feels like almost like half the movie. So it's really he's in it more in like flashbacks and everything until he comes back to life and he just is Rocket on a whole nother level in a good way.
I think they could have done a little bit better explaining why the High Evolutionary wanted him, but basically it's just because Rocket was the only creation to express an imagination and was able to make things.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. Like, and there was something with his brain because he figured out what was going wrong in the experiments.
It's because he was smarter than him.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing. Like,
yeah, he wanted to keep him to basically, it's almost like he wanted to keep him, meaning the High Evolutionary wanted to keep Rocket to basically create everything for him, but be like, I'm the smart one. I did this by myself.
I guess. And then we have Peter Quill. I really liked him in this movie. They definitely toned him down a little bit, and it's weird because James Gunn came out saying that he was not happy with how they did Peter Quill in Infinity War.
Yeah.
With just giving him back his mask and his stuff because he lost both of those things, the mask and the boots.
Yeah.
Because he lost them in the second movie. So like he's like, well, how did he get them back? Like that's the problem when you have a lot of different directors and writers and scripts and everything. Nobody really noticed or cared.
No, it's because of Tony Stark.
Yeah, but then obviously he doesn't have it at all, which would have been super helpful at the end of the movie.
Oh, 1,000%.
But he starts off. It's weird because like you go from Thor: Love and Thunder, where he's still like a little bit goofy and fun, even though he's still kind of sad, to like full on alcoholic depressed in this.
Yeah.
Did you have any issue with the fact that his bedroom was like on a public walkway with the window open?
Yeah,
I was like, what a weird place for an apartment.
Yeah, right.
On this planet,
anybody could walk in and out or just look in the window and see him in bed.
It's like an animal at the zoo.
Imagine if he had Gamora over.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about Gamora in a second. But I really dug what they did with Star-Lord. He was he was definitely a competent leader. The scene where he thought Rocket was dead was on par with when Yondu dies, just by his reaction. Chris Pratt really brought his A game for this one. And they did say at the end that he will return.
Yeah.
I found that very interesting.
I did too.
Because I would be okay seeing him dealing with the Avengers and doing stuff on Earth and then having cameos by the Guardians. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But Gamora. What did you think about Gamora in this one?
It's weird. Like, it's been over a week or so since I've seen it. And I still can't wrap my head around Gamora. Like, it's weird. They, like, make her essentially the same Gamora she was before she met the Guardians. But they also give her that soft spot in her heart as if she was the previous Gamora after meeting the
For me, the way
Guardians.
that I imagine this Gamora was, it was before she decided... This is the Gamora that was just starting to have doubts about Thanos.
Yeah.
Or was just getting ready to rebel against Thanos. So she's still very rough around the edges. She's still like the most feared assassin in the like the universe.
Yeah.
So I got that. There were times where she was like savage.
Yeah.
Like almost like scary, and I was like, well, that's the Gamora we always heard about.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So for me, it made sense. And then obviously she softens over time, and I am very glad they did not put her and Peter Quill back together.
I am too.
I think it was the right decision, because the Guardians were always about finding family, finding your own family, and not necessarily being stuck with the family that you're born into.
Yeah.
Or
all because of Vin Diesel.
So, all right, let's jump to Groot, because Groot's in the movie. He does have one of the coolest action scenes where he pulls all the weapons out, but for the first time ever, Groot says something very different.
Yeah.
What do you think, that he actually said that, or that's just how they heard it? Because that's what Melanie said, that she thinks that that's how they all heard it with their translators. Like, they just heard it that way.
See, I think it was one of those, he said, I am Groot, but it was almost in a way where the audience now can understand him. Not them, meaning the Guardians, because all the Guardians can understand him now. Mm-hmm. So I think
even Gamora, which was great. I love how Gamora pointed out, like,
yeah,
are you guys just making up things that he says? Because some of the funniest ones were when he'd just say, I'm Groot, and they're like, he just said, and it's like,
yeah. But I think it was more the fans can understand him now.
I could see that. I'd be curious for James Gunn to say like where like his mentality was with that scene.
Yeah, like did Groot actually say that, or like I said, is it just hey fans, you can understand Groot now because you've seen him in what 4 movies?
Groot,
however many it's been.
Well, don't forget this is a new Groot from the end of 1 on.
Well, yes,
yeah.
But I mean, still technically Groot.
Can we just talk also about during the post-credit scene? Peter's grandfather's reading a newspaper that says Kevin Bacon it was about him being attacked by aliens.
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like for me, it was just a very interesting choice, and I really did like it.
Yeah.
All right. So which character do you want to do next? Nebula?
Yeah. Sure.
I liked Nebula in this movie. She's like the angry aunt who takes care of business.
Yeah.
And maybe a little drunk, but I think. Again, she has been one of the best written characters in the entire MCU. Like her redemption arc and all that stuff is really just it's on point.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that she would still be in touch with this Gamora. And I think she did like such a great, and her and Drax being at the end like, hey, we're gonna stay here and keep all these people safe.
Yeah.
Was a really it was poetic for her.
Yeah, she had a big character arc over the last couple movies. And with the holiday special,
yeah,
and I love what they did with her, making her go from the villain to a member of the Guardians now, and what looks to be like the leader
of nowhere
now.
Yeah,
because she doesn't necessarily want to be a guardian of the galaxy. She just wants to be the leader of nowhere and stay there and protect.
And she wants to just work on her dance moves.
Yeah.
What did you think about her new arm?
I liked it.
Because Melanie goes, when did she get that? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
She does mention that Rocket
made it.
I really liked how much they rallied around Rocket. Because in the second movie, it's like him and Peter are at odds for most of the movie until he realizes that, I'm just a terrible person. I'm a terrible raccoon. But it was very interesting to see how, especially Nebula got very defensive over Rocket. Like when Gamora's like, just give him the porcupine.
Yeah.
And Nebula steps in and she's like I think it's when she's beating up Peter and she grabs her arm. They do a really good job with Nebula.
Yes.
And fun fact, Karen Gillan, did you see the picture she posted on Instagram of her doing couples therapy in makeup?
No.
So I guess she posted a picture that she forgot that she had couples therapy with online, and total respect. I think couples therapy is a very valid thing, and she does it in the
really?
the Nebula makeup. I thought it was really funny.
I saw the video of her carrying the Chris Pratt.
Oh, see, it's funny that was the biggest bait and switch. Like that was the end of the trailer, and it's the opening scene of the movie. Genius.
Yeah, right. You're like, Star-Lord's gonna die. No, he can't die. He was just pissed drunk.
I liked it. We have Groot, played by Vin Diesel again. Groot's in it. He's got a fair amount of personality. I like this Groot better. Baby Groot.
Yes.
Baby Groot overstayed his welcome a little bit.
Yeah, this is... I don't think they actually established, but I feel like this is almost like...
This is a very different Groot.
This is like a, mid-20...
This is jacked Groot.
Yeah.
I think that's what they call him, like swole Groot or something like that, like off camera. But he doesn't really have... It's hard to do so much. It's funny, because in the first movie, you talked a lot about Groot. He was just, something so... But, he was just ahead at one point with the legs.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But I enjoyed... anytime Groot's on, I really do enjoy having him there. Who'd win in a fight? That's a Cinematic Adventures thing, by the way. Who'd win in a fight? Baby Groot or Baby Yoda?
Baby Yoda.
You think so?
100%.
You think so? Okay. All right.
Who's got the Force?
I know, but, Baby Groot can, do tree things.
Yeah, but if I got the Force, I could just crumble you.
Baby Yoda isn't that strong, though, in the Force.
True.
Yeah, he's able to throw things. He's much better now at the end of season 3 of season 4 of Mandalorian. I don't even know. Let's see. All right, let's talk about Mantis, played by Palm Clementif. Yeah. I really liked her in this.
Yeah.
In the second movie, she's very goofy, her and Drax, and then obviously in the holiday special, we kind of talked about how they went a little far with her and Drax in the comedy. But she could fight. I love it. That was really cool. And I like seeing her use her powers in different ways. Making the guy fall in love with Drax was the funniest thing.
That was great.
And he's like, you always do that to me. And she's like, ha. And they have one of the best friendships in the entire story.
Oh yeah.
And I really do dig it. It's sad to think that we're not going to see them together anymore.
Yeah, I hope we do though.
But I like how at the end she's like, my entire life ego wanted me to do things, and now the Guardians wanted me to do things, which I thought was a little harsh. Like you joined.
Yeah,
Like,
you could have stayed.
anyway, you could have done anything. But to see her, I really wish her and Peter had a better moment of like goodbye, because they dropped this whole half sister reveal, and it's barely even addressed in this movie.
And he's like, "Yo, peace out."
The pond and lily pads.
Yeah.
I like the callback to metaphors and analogies with Drax. I thought that was really funny.
It was, yeah.
Nothing goes over my head. With my reflexes, I'm too fast. But I enjoyed that she, at the end of the movie, she's like, I'm going to go see the universe, like do what I want to do. And they still left it open that any of these characters could come back. Obviously, they say Star-Lord will be back. But we have Will Poulter as Adam Warlock. Now, it seems like you didn't like Adam Warlock too much.
What was with the accent? Like
I think it was just because they wanted to make him sound very proper, almost like a knight type thing. I'll even say it's because of bad programming. I do like how they address like he wasn't ready, like he was still cooking.
Yeah, I see. And my thing too is how quick they made him into a good guy.
But he doesn't know any better, right? So
yeah,
I agree. He's very underwritten, and it's more just because, we teased him in the last movie, we got to use him.
Yeah.
Like, the movie could have happened without him.
100%. He did absolutely nothing to this movie.
Yeah, but I like Will Poulter, first and foremost. I want to see more of Adam Warlock. I think he'd be a lot of fun, because he's a super powerful character in the comics. And I think he used the Infinity Gauntlet at one point. Like, he was a player in the comics. But unfortunately, he also is way too much like Captain Marvel. Like, even in power, like the way his powers look.
Yeah, the way the powers look, the way he looks like when he's flying and everything. I don't know. It just, for someone so big, he was so underutilized in this movie.
I loved he looked great.
Yes.
The costume was really good. And then you see, like, he got jacked, obviously, he did the Marvel formula. Like, I remember seeing promotional photos of him with, like, his long hair, and he's, like, buff. I'm like, that's the kid from We're the Millers with the weird eyebrows. Like, how do I...
Dude, but he's one lucky dude to kiss Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And the other... what's the girl's name? She's in American Horror Story and all that. Yeah. Whatever. But
whatever her name is.
That's super sexist. I don't even know why we'd bring that up. But anyway, I do want to see more of him. And unfortunately, though, he's on the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
We're not going to see the Guardians of the Galaxy anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be something like... I could see... Like, you introduce this big character, you put him with the Guardians, and then it's like...
In the last Guardians movie.
But there's no more Guardians, so are we never going to see Adam Warlock again? If so, which I'm sure we will because he's such a big player in Marvel... that it's like, how are you going to tell us how he's not with the Guardians anymore?
I would not hate seeing him in, like, even if it's just a cameo in the Marvels.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really good fit. But that's just my general opinion. The trailer for that was one of the trailers that we saw.
Yes.
I'm actually kind of excited for it.
Yeah, it's getting me excited. I'm still like...
You're Nick Fury! Oh my god!
Yeah. I'm still like on the fence about it
I just want to see the scene where the cat... You see it in the trailer. The cat eats the guys and Kamala Khan's like, oh my god! Yeah. I'm like, that's actually the best reaction.
Yeah.
But I want to see more of Adam Warlock. I really hope he does come back. We have Sean Gunn replaced as Kraglin again. He's there. And him and Cosmo have a great...
Yeah.
Not
back
your bad dog. You take that back. Oh my god. It was like... If you ever had a dog that could talk, that's what I want. Yeah. Like, it's as like smart as Cosmo is and as powerful as Cosmo is, still a dog.
Still a dog, yep.
And the scene of them all playing like space poker, really funny. But they're there. I like his moment where he figures out how to use the arrow. Yeah. And it's just it's a good scene. All right, let's talk about the High Evolutionary. He's now become one of the most evil villains. No sympathy, which is crazy because they wrote a character. This was actually a ballsy move. They wrote a character that in no way you could relate to. Yeah. Unless you're a sociopath.
Which there are some.
Yeah. Because like even like Kang, you could kind of be like, well, Kang just wants to go home. Yeah. Like, I don't blame him.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to go home?
Yeah. And then even like Thanos and Killmonger, like people that Thanos was right mugs and all that stuff. Like, it's weird to have a villain that's just immediately despised and in no way ever likable. No. To the point where his own crew turns on him. Yeah. And then he eviscerates all of them. Like, wild.
Yeah. I don't know too much about him, other than obviously being smart. Yeah. Really? So like part of me is like, how does he have those powers. You know, is it powers? Is it the suit thing he wears and everything? But again, I'm hoping that we still have him in future movies, because I think he is, at least from the movie, you know, he's super powerful, able to just obliterate anyone with like clapping, essentially.
Yeah,
you know,
making a clap.
So,
Anyway, but yeah, I want to see more of him. I would not hate it if he came back in some capacity. But again, they did the Dark Knight or the Batman Begins style, where I'm not going to kill him because that would be wrong. Going to leave him on the ship though. Bye.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. There could always be another Guardians of the Galaxy movie with this new group of characters. James Gunn said, and I think it was 2017, he said, like, we could always make another one, but, you know, some of these characters are completely done. Like, it looks like, you know, Zaldana said that she was done with Gamora, and I think last month she said that. I don't know. We'll see. You know.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. But I want to see Peter Quill return at some point. I want to see him. What is he going to do on Earth besides eat cereal?
Yeah, right?
That was a very lackluster...
like mid-credit?
Post-credit.
Yeah, that's right. It was post, yeah.
They need to switch their post and mid-credits, because there's not been really a good post-credit in a while.
No. The big stuff always happens in the mid, which stinks, because it's like I'm waiting around the extra 10 minutes to watch the post-credit, and lately, like you said, it's just like, okay, like, oh, Star-Lord's back? Like, yeah, that's awesome, because... You know, majority of the people, if not all the people, love Star-Lord, Peter Quill, you know, Chris Pratt. But it's just like, okay, like, I sat here to watch him eat honeycombs.
So it's funny because the history of their post-credit scenes has been wild. In Iron Man, they do the Nick Fury one, which became legendary. But people didn't stay to see it.
Yeah.
So for Incredible Hulk, which came out afterwards, they put the post-credit scene in the movie with Tony Stark going to the bar to recruit Ross. So there was no end credit scene for the Incredible Hulk. And then the rest of the movies had one end credit scene, and it was something that would further the plot until you get to Avengers, where it was just shawarma.
Yeah.
Which was funny. And that's what happened. Now they just do the plot one in the mid, and they do, quote-unquote, the funny one at the end.
Yeah.
They have not done a real... I can't even think of a really good funny one at this point. No. It's kind of sad.
Like I said, like, it was cool to be like, oh, nice. This isn't the end of Chris Pratt, Star-Lord.
Yeah.
You know, but again, at the same time, it's like, why'd I sit in the theater for an extra 15 minutes just to see that?
Because we're suckers.
True.
And we will never not sit and watch that.
You're not wrong there.
Yeah, but anyway. You want to do a Star City rating for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
You bet your bottom dollar I do.
I don't have a bottom dollar.
Oh, man.
Wearing gym shorts.
I'm going to give this movie a 4.5.
Woof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. It's
a near perfect movie for you.
Near perfect movie, not perfect.
A perfect.
So perfect movie.
Certainly.
The only thing that's kind of holding it back was Adam Warlock stuff.
Really? That was your...
That, and then, you know, the Gamora stuff was okay. Like, it's a lot of times, like, we're getting characters for no reason. But I think the reason we got Gamora in this movie was just to bring them all back together.
Also, I think it did further Peter's story, and at the end where he finally accepted it, like, because at one point, like, I think he's like, man, if I wasn't, you know, so drunk and I wasn't doing these things, I could have maybe helped Rocket, because he was useless in that fight.
Yeah.
He finally just pops in at the end. What did you think of their new costumes?
I liked them.
I did too.
I
Very
did like
old school comic look to them.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
You know, aesthetically, it was all right too. Like, some stuff was a little like wonky and everything, and I did like the callback to the battery eating monsters.
That was fun. I liked the obelisks or something like that.
Yeah, whatever they are.
Oscar balloons?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna assalamu alaikum.
That's not it. That's something different.
But, you know, there was a lot of nice throwbacks and tie-ins from the previous two movies and the holiday special. So,
do you have a favorite scene? I have two scenes that stick out.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Darn you. I wish I was prepared for this.
Do you want me to do one and then give you a second to prepare?
Yeah.
The scene of them trying to break into the prison in the different colored suits. So at first it's visually just really good. Like, the colors are bright and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you see Mantis like doing goofy floats all around. It's very inner character. And then the dialogue where he presses the button and he thinks he's just talking to Gamora. Yeah, we can all hear you. And then it's like yellow is orange and blue is purple. And like, it's just really funny. And I like how Peter Quill sometimes is the straight man in all this, where he's like, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Or even in the first movie where it's like, where Rocket's like, why would we try and save the galaxy? And he's like, because I'm one of the idiots that happens to live in it.
Yeah.
Like, Peter Quill is not dumb.
No.
And seeing, I might say, even though Rocket's story is the best, the Peter Quill stuff was really, like him in the elevator recapping the entire MCU, basically. And Nebula's like, that's the gist of it. But
yeah.
And the fact that he does charm this girl, and then he's like, I wasn't really going to do that. And he's like, I'm not as dumb as I look. It was just really good stuff. Yeah. So did you think of my favorite scene?
I found one. It involves Drax.
Okay, hit it.
When they're in the prison, like the cell, and he starts communicating with all the girls or whatever, with chip or whatever.
Chip.
Because
it means friend.
Yeah, right? Because when we see Drax, what do we think? We think of just a big, stupid guy. And for him to, like, communicate and everything, and, like, who it was Mantis and Nebula, like, wait.
You can understand that?
You can understand. How come you didn't say it? You never asked.
Yep.
Like it's almost like...
I did like the build up to that, too, where it's like, Mantis is like...
dancing.
Just because he's stupid doesn't mean he's, like, useless. And he's like, I'm not sure how I feel about this defense.
Yeah. I
thought the monkey thing was really weird.
I thought that was kind of cool.
And then obviously before I do my Star City rating, I have to talk about the hallway fight scene. That was one of the best Marvel action set pieces.
I knew you wanted to talk about it. That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah. Sure. That is probably... I'm glad that none of that got spoiled in any of the trailers.
Yeah.
Like the shot of Peter and Groot with all the guns, that was, in a bunch of the trailers. But that hallway fight scene, to see them all fighting together and so well choreographed and working together as a team, it is probably one of the best Marvel action set pieces.
Yeah.
I say it's even better than the shot in Avengers where they're all doing like the team up attacks right before Hulk punches Thor off the Leviathan. Like this was peak Guardians, peak MCU, and it's nice to kind of get that MCU feeling back. So I'm going to give this movie a 4. It is...
Oh, you suck.
That's still almost perfect. It is fantastic. It really, really is. It is such a love letter to the characters, to the franchise. I think it's smart that they didn't tie it into anything else in the MCU. Maybe a cameo by like Thor or something might have been fun, but for the most part, they do a great job. Just Guardians is its own little separate universe at this point, and they do a really good job honoring that. And in all honesty, I really just dug it. I would watch it again. I'd go see it in theaters again if given the opportunity. But that is going to wrap us up for today. If you guys want to participate in any of our activities like Fan Feedback Friday or anything like that, make sure you guys check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. Type in the Multiverse Fancast or Misfit Faction. Odds are you'll find some of our stuff. You can also check out our website where we have news, reviews, articles, and of course our merch store. So make sure you guys show some love over there. And I think that's pretty much it. So that's going to wrap us up for today. I don't have it bottom dollar, so...
I didn't say bottom dollar.
I wasn't sure if you were still talking about that. You don't let things go. But that's going to wrap us up for today. As always, I'm Paul.
I'm Ronnie.
And we'll be back in a flash.
See ya.